one place. Someone flicks me a bad body. Say, oh, it's another one, yeah. It's a full strong, yeah. Oh, it's another one, yeah.
Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are all over the world. This is our Boxing Hub. I go by the name of Yenji, featuring yours truly, Trey, and the man, aka Prince Patel. What's good?
Everything's good, man. Everything's good on my side. Hope you guys are both good as well.
All good, all good, all good.
Nice,
Trey?
I'm guessed. I can't even lie, I'm guessed, man, because obviously Prince, we met you, in person at the Misfits events. It was nothing but good energy, good vibes. And both me and my cousin were saying, you know what? Let's get a podcast with this energy. And look, we're here, man. So I'm just excited. And just can't wait to just, podcast, boxing, and chill with you, man. So just big up to you as well, man.
Respect, man. Thanks for having me on. Guys.
No worries. Man. Prince, a question I always ask, every boxer that participates in the show, it's like, what got you into boxing?
Back to what we were talking about when we was at Misfits. I was a massive wrestling fan growing up, man. I always knew my future would be in a ring. At the time, I didn't think it'd be a boxing ring. Thought it'd probably be a wrestling ring. But then, obviously, as a kid, when you start looking at it and you think, well, wrestlers tend to be big, muscular, strong guys, I don't really fit that dimension. And then, like, when I hit like year 7 and stuff, even though I was all right at football, I weren't the best, but I was all right. Like, the only thing that let me down in football, I was getting pushed off the ball, was getting like barged off and stuff. And rugby, I was just terrible at. And then I just wanted to be good at a sport. And there was no random WWE clubs that you could just go join. So I just thought, well, you know what? Boxing looks like a sport where you have to fight someone your own size. Let me give that a go. Literally, how it started.
Boy, Cuz, man, you obviously know what I'm thinking, man. Like, obviously, the story just sounds like something that me and my cousin, obviously, growing up, we were massive WWE fans as well. And big up Rico as well, obviously saying big up, man like Prince. Look, Rico, man, nothing but love, man. He's obviously saying girth and minimal length. You obviously know the banter between you two. I love that. Obviously, what I was saying is we grew up watching wrestling. My cousin was more of a rock fan. I was more of a Stone Cold Steve Austin fan. I just like that energy of the way he just came to the ring, stunner. Bears, just energy. That's the vibe that I like, man. And it's good to know that you was inspired by that as well, man. What was I know we're sort of going off topic and we have to do it, man. What was your sort of event that you thought, you know what, this WWE event, massive, like, I can't even lie, it's the best I've seen?
When I thought the very first WWE pay-per-view I watched was the Royal Rumble 2000. And I'm seeing like Jeff doing swanton bombs through like 2 tables. I was like, "Raw, man! Like, this is some serious stuff." And then I remember the New Age Outlaws beat the APA in a tag team title match, and then you also had The Rock winning the Rumble that year. I was a big Rock fan. Like, I don't know how like you pick Austin over Rock. Like,
you guys are gonna get along. You guys are gonna get.
Do you know what? Like, I remember that one. He beat Big Show, innit? The Royal Rumble.
Both feet of The Rock touched the floor first, but
do you know what? I don't know. I watched it. Was it one foot that touched the floor?
Both.
Sure, it was one.
It's the referee's ruling, ain't it? It's the referee's ruling is final, and the ref said only one foot touched the floor, and then Show was running around on the next Raws and SmackDowns trying to like say like, look, Rock's feet touched the floor first, and then that's when the WrestleMania that year was the McMahon in every corner for people.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And then
do you know what?
He got retired that year. I remember that. That
was yes. No, listen, my best WrestleMania event, I think it was WrestleMania 17, The Rock and Stone Cold. I'm just shocked how they made The Rock lose that fight. I understand that event, was it at Stone Cold's hometown?
In Texas, yeah.
Chris, come on,
Yeah,
you
that
can't.
was the end of the Attitude Era. That hurt me, man, bro. I was like, what, 12 or something? It hurt me. It hurt me, man, because The Rock, he was supposed to win that fight. Because I know they fought 3 times. He won the 3rd fight, but it wasn't, the energy wasn't the same no more. You know.
I never liked Hollywood Rock. I preferred
The original.
About 99 to about 2001. 2003
yeah, when it was just a Brahma Ball.
Yeah. That was the best time for wrestling, in my opinion. It was like 2000, 2001. They were the best years, man.
Trust me, man. I miss it, man.
Wrestling is not fake. Someone saying that wrestling is not fake.
Wrestling is fake, guys. You know what? Let's not ruin the fantasy, man. Like when we was young, we all bring the swanton bomb onto the bed.
Listen, you lot are forgetting the Dudley Boys. They were serious, bro.
I prefer Edge and Christian over the Dudley Boys. That the Dudley Boys are sick.
We're gonna have to disagree, man. With me, the Dudley Boys.
I would let Trish. I would let Trish do anything she wants to me, bro.
You know what?
Do anything she wants to me. That was like the first girl that I ever fancied. I was like, oh my god.
Trish, but wait, who you picking though? Trish or Stacy Keibler?
Oh, Trish, easy, man. Even right now.
Ooh.
I would do some forbidden things to Trish, man.
Oh, you already know, man. You already know. Trish, I can't even lie. Trish is actually that one. I can't even lie.
Do you know, I think one of the best women champion, I reckon it was Lita.
Well, Lita.
Yeah, I've had some guys tell me as well they prefer her sexually as well, like over the other ones as well. I don't know, like didn't we rate Lita that high personally? She upped her sexualness when she got with Edge, though. When she got with him, she upped it a little bit, but still weren't like my favorites out there.
The divas they had back then.
Top 3.
Yeah, go on.
Trish is number 1.
Yep.
Who else? Tori Wilson's got to be there. It's probably number 2.
Trust.
Nice. And I'm gonna say Stephanie due to longevity. Just due to longevity.
This is why I rate Prince, man. Stephanie, underrated. I can't even lie.
Very underrated.
Just a quick one, guys. We see Stephanie and Triple H, right? Were they actually together for real during that period, or was it just all script?
It was scripted, and then the script become real.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
People are saying it's fake. How can you fake that?
Obviously, Rico saying Vince was definitely piping everything in that locker room. So,
yeah, for sure.
Barbie Blank, what Bakaya Saka's saying. You know what? I can't even lie to you. The divas that they delivered back then, you got to rate them.
Way better than the current.
Ooh, wait. Let me just get into what Rico's saying. What Rico's saying is
that's not true.
Was Eddie Guerrero versus Ray for the adoption? Oh, come on, man.
Oh, that's like 2005 or 2004 or something. Now that definitely
wasn't. Nah. Peak was way before. Attitude Era was peak.
Do you know? I personally, I prefer the Attitude Era. Like, I just this after Attitude Era, it just I didn't mind the invasion. I liked it, but after that, it kind of just died out. It's just like you had certain people on Raw and certain people on SmackDown, whereas before it was a mixture. Do you know what I'm saying? You have them on Raw and SmackDown.
They tried to do the like obviously the WCW against WWE. They tried to do that same sort of rivalry with Raw v SmackDown, but I just felt like it just wasn't as good, if that makes sense. Like, whereas WCW created stars like Goldberg, Sting, these sorts of guys, Booker T as well. Like, I feel like a lot, even the WCW guys, when they went to WWE, I feel like they were underused as well.
Yeah. Do you know who should have been a world champion in WWE? DDP.
Diamond Page. Well,
He
when he
should have
comes to
been.
WWE, he had a weird storyline with the Undertaker stalking his wife, and then it just like I don't know, he become like a journeyman, like a low level journeyman. Like it
Trust
wasn't
me.
good.
Trust me. And obviously Rico's saying Kane got Lita pregnant. Yo, it was mad. It was actually mad. Undertaker went from zombie to member of the Sons of Anarchy.
Oh
Just
yeah,
a
when
quick
he done
one.
the American Badass one, yeah, that was hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, do you know? I like that. American Badass. I like that energy, man. Like he seemed proper gangster. I mean, don't get me
And
wrong.
he's good on the mic as well. Taker, very good on the mic.
Yeah,
Trust me.
yeah,
But
Underrated. Very
as the
underrated.
phenom and the dead man, he couldn't really speak on the mic too
yeah,
much. It was more
yeah.
like single
Just
words
stick
and
his
stuff.
tongue down, roll his eyes. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Just a quick one, Prince. Would you, if you had the opportunity, would you ever participate in
Yes.
Misfits?
Oh no, wait. Misfits. I thought you meant WWE at first. I thought you meant WWE. I was like, yeah, of course I was. Misfits. Truthfully, yeah, I would, man. I would. We're in a boxing a difficult game. Like I need exposure. I believe someone with my personality needs exposure, and if
100.
I jump on a Misfits card, the general public are going to be seeing me rather than just the hardcore boxing fan. And if the general public see me, my personality can come out the most, then hopefully I can get some more Princeaholics and some Princeamaniacs jumping on board.
I like that. I like
Princeaholics.
I like that.
Natural on the mic, and look, it leads on to Rico's question, of course, is obviously saying, Prince, what would your wrestling name be? Like, what would your wrestling name be, bro?
I'll just keep it Prince Patel, like with the Patel, you can tell I'm Indian, so I'm hitting that Jinder Mahal, Great Khali market. Prince is a decent name. Personally, when I won a world title, I was thinking of changing it to King Patel, but I don't know, man. Like the Prince brand is quite big as it is, so I don't know. Like, I would definitely partake in Misfits. To be fair, that's actually something I've thought of. Who would I fight in Misfits? That's a good question. I'm willing to obviously Misfits do all like the like stuff that's never happened in boxing. They do tag team matches, they do all that sort of stuff. I'm happy to do touching upon wrestling. I'm happy to do a handicap match. Yeah, you've never seen that in boxing before. I'm happy to do a handicap match against. I don't know if you saw the videos. Them 2+ size, big, 400-pound guys. The rip off Rikishi lookalikes. I'm happy to give away. I'm happy to do 15 pounds against 850 pounds.
Let's have it.
Yeah, handicap match, and I feel very confident in winning that.
Come on, I love that.
And it's a David v Goliath situation, So we're bringing we're bringing Bible stories to life.
Big up, man. Obviously, Bukayo Saka, one of our loyal fans on there, man. So big up to him. He's obviously saying back to boxing. Obviously, being an Asian boxer, who did you look up to?
Did you look up to? To be honest, like I just looked up to Floyd, man. Floyd Mayweather. That's the person I looked up to. To me, when I was younger, it was never really about race. It was just all about who I like. I liked Floyd. I liked his personality. I like the energy he brought. Like when I see Floyd, immediately I see superstar. Like, do you know what I mean? I also liked Naz. I like the showmanship. I like the kidology. I like the way he would speak. Yeah, they were my main two that I liked. But if I had to pick out the two, Floyd, definitely.
100. I remember at one point there was a point where they could have fought each other, Prince.
Yeah.
Would you think that ever would have?
I feel if Naz continued, he had one fight after he lost to Barrera. I feel if he continued, the fight with Floyd would have been too big not to happen.
Trust.
And it would have happened at the early part. So when Floyd was just coming through, like to becoming like a big name. Like around the time he fought Philip Endu and all them sorts of guys.
Yeah. It would have been a good fight.
A very good fight, but I think Floyd would have just been too sharp. I reckon too accurate. IQ would have been too high. I felt that stage in Naz's career, I felt like he wasn't as fast. He was very explosive, but when I say fast, I mean like putting combinations together. I felt it was like the one explosive big jump in shot. which obviously knocks guys out. But I feel to do stuff like that against someone with the IQ of Floyd, who I regard as the best ever, very difficult to do.
Yeah, man. So go for that.
Yeah, like how's the fight in Saudi? Minus getting beat, it was alright. Yeah, it was alright.
It's good. It's good energy up there. Like, did you like the vibe up there in terms of what they're doing in Saudi?
Look, if it makes money, it makes sense. So if there's big money involved there, then I think go for it, man. Like, keep doing shows out there. I'm just gutted that I didn't win that time because I felt that could have been my coming out party. But obviously, God has a plan for everyone, and a plan will come soon.
When's your next fight?
It's unconfirmed, as in not officially announced, but I'm gonna be fighting probably most likely on Dean White's show in July 29th, and then we're looking for a TV slot in September.
Oh, nice.
I just want to be because I'm looking at it and I'm thinking to myself, I fought in April 15th. My head coach wasn't in my corner because he went to Lucy Wilder against Michaela Mayer on Warren's show. So I want to have, before I go into like a big girthy fight, I want him to at least be in my corner in the UK under the lights, if that makes sense.
Just a quick one. Did you by any chance watch Sonny Edwards fight yesterday?
Truthfully, no, because I was at the Dean White show doing the commentary yesterday. Okay. I missed that. But I've obviously looked at what people have said on Twitter, looked at what people have said on different social medias and stuff, and the general consensus, I don't know, you guys can correct me here, but he didn't look as good as he usually looks, and he lost quite a few of the rounds, is what people are saying.
I mean, I haven't watched the full fight. I just watched the highlights. I need to, when I get time, I'll watch the full fight. But I believe that, pardon me, that's a fight you would want to fight later on down the line, you and Sonny.
Totally, man. I'd be crazy to say I don't want to fight a world champion. I'm in the game to be the best. I'm in the game to create history and become the first Indian world champion. If I was to say no, I don't want to fight him, I'd be lying to you guys. Of course, I want to fight him. Got a world title, but he's obviously pushing for unification. I can't like take that away from him. Do you think so? See, good question by Tony Ellis. Do I think he'd ever fight me? I think he'd only fight me where I'm in the driving seat and he feels he's something he can gain from me. Does that make sense? So like when we first was coming through, I was always getting more views than him. If you look at all his old IFL interviews, every interview he did in IFL, he was always mentioning my name, saying, "Oh, Prince Patel." And whenever he would mention my name, the viewing figures on his videos would go up. And when he suddenly stopped mentioning my name, the viewing figures wasn't as high. So I just feel it's like at the moment he's trying to push unifications. I don't have no belt, so I don't blame him. He wants to show he's the top main guy in the division. But I feel like once he gets beat, where does he go from there? He doesn't sell tickets. He don't draw crowds to come watch him. The promotional banner ain't getting hidden tickets bought because his name's on there. It's just no one's really interested in him as a fighter. And it's like he's had his whole career on TV. Having your whole career on TV, you're 20-0, and no one really knows who you are outside of the hardcore people. That tells you he's never going to be like a superstar in boxing. And I feel he'll be like, he gets beat, he gets put on the small hall radars, like his brother just fought on the 9th, just 2 days ago, on a Kieran Farrell show. And no one's interested in Charlie Edwards, which is his brother, because he doesn't sell tickets, and no one's really, and he doesn't draw no attention, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I feel once Sonny's in that position where he can't sell no tickets and no one's interested in him, that's when he's going to be saying, I want to fight Prince Patel now, because he knows that is a big fight and he thinks it will always be there for him.
No, I hear you. No, do you know what you just said just makes sense? I hear you. But I believe that it should happen now than later. Do you know what I mean? Because obviously, you know, like you said, he's on the big screen, you're coming up and people know who you are. Do you know what I'm saying? And I think I think you two fighting will do numbers. The build.
I agree with that completely. Like the analogy I gave to people in other interviews is he fought at Campos, Andres Campos, in the face-offs he was doing with him. I think you might have seen a video of him flipping his cap off and going face to face with him. He was saying to him, "You're only here for a payday. You've never done 12 rounds before." So you had a voluntary defense, and you're saying that it's in them words, in his own words, not my words, not spinning the words, not making it sound or interpreting it in a different way. They were his words. You're here for a payday. You've never even done 12 rounds. Basically saying the guy's not worthy to be fighting for a world title, which is 12 rounds. It sounds to me like it's a hand-picked voluntary opponent. Why not use me as the hand-picked voluntary opponent? Do you know what I'm saying? He has a promoter that quite easily could speak to, because he's with the IBF, could quite easily speak to Daryl Peoples about ranking me at flyweight, sorry. And that fight could have easily been made. And I believe it would have done way more numbers than what him and Campos done.
100%.
I agree with that.
I agree.
That's a fight I want to see. I'm not gonna lie. That's a fight I want to see, because you guys been going back and forth for years, and it has to happen, man. Do you know what I mean?
I agree with that. But I think he's gonna wait for himself to get beat, and then when there's nothing really there for him, and he's thinking big fights. How can I make money? He's gonna think, well, Prince Patel's always gonna be there. That's how he words it in interviews. I'm not just saying it like my opinion. That's basically what he says in interviews. When people ask about me and him, he just says, "Well, Patel's always going to be there."
That's long though, man. It's just this reminds me a bit of It's a bit okay. It reminds me of what's his name, AJ and Wilder, when they were supposed to fight back in 2017, 18. When
they should have fought. That would have been the undisputed world title. Bare peas on the line. England, America, lay it all on the line.
That would have been a big one. Imagine the promotion for that fight. That would have been a big fight in the Mecca, in the States. We have to do that like Las Vegas, one of those MGM programs. We need to do it in those stadiums for that fight, man, for sure.
But
I think not an. I don't think an MGM ground. I think an actual football stadium out there, or maybe do a football stadium in the UK, because the Wilder against AJ in 2018 would have been 90, 100,000 people easy.
True.
Think of the gate on that. Think of the gate alone. That's like a current day WrestleMania moment.
Yeah.
You already know.
But the only thing is, I don't think Wilder wanted to fight AJ in the UK because he thought that would be unfair. Do you know what I mean? So now they're fighting in Saudi.
Yeah, but like everyone has a price, man. Like if I come to Wilder with 100 million, you think he's gonna turn down 100 million to come to the UK to fight?
No, you're right.
I don't think it's him per se, but I think it could be his team. Do you know what I mean? I mean, like, look, AJ, what my understanding is that he was supposed to fight him back in 2018, but I don't know, something went wrong, because apparently Wilder offered AJ 50 million. Again, I don't know how true this is, but Eddie said there was no 50 million and blah blah blah. But then when Wilder fought Fury the first fight, when you're offering 50 millions and stuff, the easiest way to detect whether there's guaranteed 50 millions and stuff is by putting money into an escrow. And then obviously once the fight's done, you can easily collect it. If you can't put that money there and show you got that money, then it's obviously probably not true. Did you by any chance watch the fight yesterday? Last night?
Taylor one? No, I've seen that one. I have watched the highlights of. I don't know. I think it's time for Taylor to move up weight, personally.
Yeah. But he was saying before, like, he wants to move up weight and fight Crawford. I'm not being rude, but with that performance yesterday, I don't think he should fight Crawford. Yeah,
but I see what you're saying there. But if a fight is dead at the scales, it affects, not even at the scales, in the ring, and they're not up to the 100% optimum performance, it's going to affect them in the ring. You could be the best fighter in the world, but if you've got no energy and you can't let your hands go and punches are hurting more than they normally do, doesn't matter how hard you train, doesn't matter how good you are, it can all backfire for you. That's the problem when people try to be the biggest in the division and get that advantage. It could backfire as well, and you could end up being like a shadow of yourself. Do you know what I mean?
Because
No,
also
definitely.
I'm hearing that Lopez, he says he's retired. I don't know how true that is, but he says, he's not getting paid enough, and it's calling it a day.
So
You
he
know what?
vacated his WBO world title.
Nah, you know what? It's all. If I'm honest with you, and look, I'm gonna say this because you
Was
already
that
know.
to try and get the views and get people talking?
He's probably doing that for the takeover is very smart, man. What people need to understand is this guy fully done his thing to sell this fight because at the end of the day, look, I called it because it's 1-0 to me in our little league. So obviously I called Lopez the takeover to get the win. And I think it was conclusive, man. I think
From the highlights I've seen, it looked quite conclusive. But obviously, highlights can be made to suit any fighter. But it just looked like Taylor was missing quite wildly, and Lopez was landing some hurtful-looking shots. Someone asked who wins, Haney. Who does he fight next, Haney or Progress? I think Progress beats Lopez. I think Progress is a really good fighter. Like, how can Josh Taylor go from beating Progress in a close competitive fight? Some could say Progress wins.
That's what I'm saying.
In many people's eyes, losing to Jack Catterall, and then in many people's eyes again, and the judges' eyes this time, losing to Lopez.
Yep.
Because I think Progress beats Catterall and Lopez.
I think Progress beat.
Progress. I think.
My personal opinion, I think he beat him. I think.
I thought that as well.
Yeah.
But I said it in a few gyms one time, and people looked at me like I was crazy. So I just thought, like, don't go with this analogy anymore.
You're always gonna get that trust.
At least here on this podcast, we're all thinking the same. We're all thinking the same here.
No, but listen, it's true because look, it was. I think because it was here in the UK, why they gave him, why he won the fight. But I think he got done. I mean, look at his face.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's what it is. I mean,
And the punches landed. That's a good way to tell who wins. The amount of punches that land. Because it's the game about hit and not get hit. And if you're landing more punches than the other guy, kind of weighs it up, don't it?
That's what I'm saying. That is what I'm saying, man. But we need to see these fights happen, man. If Haney does move up, do you think he's moving up to fight Teofimo? To Lopez now that he's won.
So he's gonna vacate is he gonna vacate his undisputed titles?
He's gonna have to.
Nah, see, I don't think he. I could be wrong here, but
why would you? You go on.
No, go on.
Why would you vacate your lightweight undisputed titles to have a smaller fight against Lopez when you can defend all of them belts against someone like Tank? Granted, Tank's a harder fight, and I believe he's better than Lopez, but there's bare peas to be made against Tank.
No, bro, that's what I've been saying. Every time I say this, people are attacking me. I say, look, he needs to keep them belts, defend. I said, this is what I'm saying, right? Tank should, Haney should fight Tank, and then the winner, right, should fight Shakur Stevens, and then they can do whatever they want to do afterwards.
If I was personally in Haney's position, I would tell Ryan Garcia to quickly get a win, and I'd ask to fight Ryan Garcia as a voluntary defense, because he's the biggest named guy that isn't as much of a risk as Shakur Stevenson, who isn't as big a name as Garcia, and it's still a big name where there's less risk than fighting Tank as well. Does that make sense? Because I think Tank and Stevenson are like pound for pound, like top 5, both of them. Maybe even top 3, like they're both like amazing, yeah? And if I was in Haney's position, I want to maximize profit with least risk. And Garcia, to me, looks like the least risk with maximum profit. Because Garcia is a superstar, like everyone has to admit that. Yeah. Tank wouldn't have got 1.2 million pay-per-view buys if his dance partner wasn't Ryan Garcia.
It's true.
However, but Tank, he does numbers though. He gets bumped.
Tank does incredible numbers. But if Tank fought, like let's say against Isaac Cruz when he fought him, they ain't doing the same numbers as him against Garcia. That was one of the biggest fights in boxing at the time.
Ooh, easy. Look, you've seen what Rico's saying. So Rico's obviously saying we're insane. Haney been at 135 since 17. I think he's implying that he should move up now, man.
How old is Haney though? Is that 23, Haney?
Yeah, he's about 23 now.
23,
Correct us if we're wrong, Al Heyman. I boxing up. Is he? What? How old is he?
But even so, yeah, like all I'm saying is that look,
24.
He's 24. Okay.
Yeah, pick up.
Bro, he should just if Haney wants to move up, yeah, he can, but he hasn't said anything. So I'm thinking he wants. I believe he wants to fight Tank. That will be one of his biggest paycheck. Do you know what I mean?
He gets chiefed up against Tank. He gets chiefed up against Tank.
We know. We
Bro,
know, man.
right, it's just
Tank's the real deal, man. Tank's the real deal.
We
that's
know.
what
We
I've
can
been
see
saying.
it.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm talking from the amateurs as well. Like I remember him. He's a year younger than me, Tank, and I remember watching some because obviously Americans, like when I was younger, I'm just searching anything amateur boxing. So I'm looking at the American like title championships and stuff like that. And I remember watching him fight some kid that was in their national team, and they had a bit of beef between each other. Tank just chiefed him up. He was doing the Harlem Shake as well. He was doing some big dance moves, and yeah, he just like beat that guy up badly, like, but with like essences where I thought, yeah, if this kid stays like proper boxing, he's gonna be a star. This guy, like, he's doing some amazing shit. You know, when you look at some fighters sometimes, like, and you just think to yourself, like, in a couple years' time, this guy's gonna like break through. I was seeing that in him, like, we're going back like 2009. Like, I see some amazing, like, crazy shit, and I was like, this guy's got crazy power as well. And then when he goes pro and he's knocking everyone out, I then knew, yeah, this guy is going to be a superstar. Then obviously, Leonard Ellaby and Floyd are smart people. They're not going to attach their name to some donor, are they? Like, you got to be like, for them to attach their name to you, you got to be a straight 10-10. Like, and obviously Leonard Ellaby still pushes him quite hard. I don't even think he signed to them. So
yeah, obviously
must rate him.
Haney fan. He's obviously saying Haney. No.
He reckons. Okay, Rico reckons that Haney. Rico's drunk at the moment, yeah, but he reckons that.
Of course,
Haney,
he's drunk.
he reckons that Haney will school Tank.
That's why Rico ain't got a video in this podcast right now, because he's just he can't be trusted on the camera right now with what he's saying.
Just a quick one. Adrian Broner, he's back. Do you reckon he can become world champion again?
Look, I rate AB. I like him. I like his character. I like what he brings. I like all that stuff. But I think he's past his best. That's my truth behind it. I believe, and this doesn't necessarily mean like he's not old. He's like what, I think 33.
Yeah.
He's not old or anything. But it's like I just feel some fighters, their best years are at certain ages.
Yeah.
Like Wilfred Benitez was a world champion at 17 years old, WBA world champion. Beat Antonio Cervantes to win that, who was an incredible fighter at the time. Wilfred Benitez, by the time he was 25, was a shot fighter. Never the same after he was 25. So just because some fighters might look like, well, they're still young, they still got years left in them, they don't always have the years left in them. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I understand, yeah.
And I think AB was shit hot back in 2010 to 2014.
Yeah.
You saw
like shit hot, like.
Yeah.
And then his highlights was coming up in it. It was crazy.
But what AB done well as well was he was fighting at super feather in that, and he was huge. Like that was a super feather who was probably like a welterweight coming in the ring. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then obviously he moves up. He wins a world title at lightweight as well. Then he wins a world title from lightweight. He goes to welterweight because he looked at Malignaggi at the time. I was actually a big fan of Malignaggi when I was younger because I liked the way he spoke. I liked guys who speak. And he beat Malignaggi for his world title, his WBA world title. So he jumped up 2 weights, become a world champion, and then went back down to the super lightweight and then become a 4-weight world champion. That in any world, that goes down as one of the greats. 4-weight world champion. You're one of the greatest out there ever. Like, not when I say generational great, I would definitely say, yeah. And I just believe he's past his best now.
I think that
he ain't the bigger, stronger guy like he was when he was at super feather. When he won a welterweight world title was against the right opponent.
Perfect. Yeah, at the time.
And it was only I think it was a majority. It was a split decision when he beat Malignaggi. So
yeah,
competitive
I
fight.
it was that infamous. That's not my side piece, though. You took my side piece, though. Remember
that was jokes. That was jokes. He goes, I left with your belt and your girl. That's my side piece.
That's just my side. Oh,
he goes, you don't get laid. You don't get laid.
Because what it is, he called out what's his name? The guy who just won a few weeks ago, Romero. Do you think that'd be a good fight?
Yeah, because Rolly's look, he's won more than I've won. He's a world champion. Yeah, so I can't call him rubbish. But
is he a world champion?
Rolly's one of the weakest. Champions out there.
Don't know, man. It'll be. Do you know what? The fight that I would like to see AB. I would like to see AB fight O'Hara Davis.
Ooh, that'll be a good fight. O'Hara Davis, AB.
Yeah. AB
it's a good fight. It's a good fight. O'Hara always has a puncher's chance. It's a good fight. I think O'Hara beats Rolly, by the way.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's a fight I would love to see. Ooh, just a quick one.
Go on.
Spence v. Crawford. Patel, I want to know your prediction.
I side more with Crawford.
He's a Crawford man.
I side more with Crawford, yeah. But it's a good fight, man. It's a good fight, definitely. It's a good fight. I'm guessing you guys are Spence guys.
I'm Spence.
Sorry, I've gone.
Spence, man. You know what? I'm definitely Spence, man. I just think that Spence is bigger on the night. His body shots, he can walk a man down. I know that Terence is gifted, he's a switch hitter, but at welterweight, he's had the harder fights, man. You got Kell Brook, you got Sean Porter, you got them at the right time as well.
What does Crawford do wrong though?
He doesn't do much wrong.
What I'm saying is, this is what I'm saying. I know Crawford's a switch or whatnot, but if he doesn't knock out Errol Spence, if it goes to distance, Spence will win the fight.
Why do you think that?
Bro, it's just like on paper at the moment, it's a 50-50, right? They're both undefeated, but Spence has more belts. And they're at a point now where Spence, this fight obviously is going to take place on PBC because Crawford is a free agent, do you know what I mean? Yeah, so I think it's going to lean more on Spence's way. Not to say, they're going to cheat him out. No, I just personally think if he can't get Spence out there, if he doesn't throw more punches or knocks him down a couple of times, if it goes to distance, Spence is winning this fight.
I just think Crawford's a way better fighter, man. Like, not way, but let me rephrase that. I just think Crawford just does everything slightly better than Spence.
Yeah, but Spence is the naturally bigger guy in it. So my understanding, correct me if I'm wrong, Spence, I believe he wants to move up after this. So I think
so that tells you he's struggling. What if he's doing a Josh Taylor and he comes in like 50% of himself? And I was actually thinking what Rico just said there. I think Crawford's length is going to be like a bit of a problem for Spence. He's not going to be able to walk him down like he can do other fighters because there's no way Crawford's going to be jumping into a fight like that thinking like going to get walked through. At that level, it's very difficult to walk through an elite level guy.
Mm-hmm.
No, definitely.
Right.
Unless you're a mega one-punch KO puncher, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because at the top level, most guys can firm a bang. Like, your conditioning is really good at top level. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That's why a lot of guys knock out journeymen and stuff. Like, the good punchers knock out journeymen. Good boxers knock out journeymen just because they can find the gaps, they can find the openings. And a lot of them don't want to be stopped the journeyman, but just because your boxing level is just above them. But when you get to the elite level, it's difficult to stop guys like that. Does that make sense? Like a really good amateur, like a James DeGale, will stop journeyman. But when he gets to the top level, it's harder to stop them guys because they're not only because they're better as well, but they're more conditioned.
It's like Badu Jack, for example, when you fought Badu Jack, innit?
Yeah,
When
yeah,
he
literally.
killed
Like
Jack,
some of them licks he's hitting Badu Jack with. If he was to lick like I don't know one of them guys that was fighting on Dean White's show in the away corner, they're going to sleep. Them guys.
yeah.
Wait, hold on. Badu Jack, I'm hearing, I don't know how true this is, he might be fighting Canelo.
Wait.
This is ridiculous. Nah.
To be honest, if I was Canelo, yeah, you got nothing to lose in that fight.
Listen,
Apart from maybe a beating, but what have you got to lose there? You're trying to become a world champion, the step below heavyweight, and let's look at it realistically. If he beats Badu Jack, yeah, which heavyweight would give Canelo a shot to fight for their world title? I know I would, because I think it's a huge fight, bare peas on the line against a small dude who's about the same height as Prince Patel. Do you know what I'm saying?
But come on, I mean, look. All right, Canelo in the ring with Wilder. Canelo goes to sleep. Canelo in the ring with Fury.
It goes to sleep fast. But think of the money that could be made there. The money, bro. The money that could be made there.
Is it legacy? All right, as a boxer, are you chasing legacy or are you chasing money? Or is it both?
For me, I'm chasing a world title because that's like I want to create history and stuff. I want to become 1 in a billion. I want to be the first in to win a world title. That's why I haven't took some fights where someone might go to me, "Oh, why don't you take this fight?" But I might make more than, let's say, jumping on a Dean White show. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But it's got to make sense to get to the end goal, which is becoming a world champion. When you're guys like Canelo, who's achieved world titleness, you in multiple weights, and you can get paid, let's say, 150 million to fight Anthony Joshua, let's say.
Yeah.
I'd fight Anthony Joshua for 1 million. So he's probably fighting for 150. Let's be real.
He knows. No, Prince knows. Prince does know, man. I'm not gonna lie.
Apart from your division, what other division do you follow that that interests you?
I got a love-hate relationship with boxing where I do like the sport. I do love it in that, but I also hate it at the same time. Because I see like a lot of guys who I believe are more marketable than, that I'm better than, and they're getting pushed more than I am. So it's like I don't sit at home and I watch the cards like how you guys may do. But what I will do, like what I've done with the Lopez and the Taylor fight, is I'll scroll through Twitter. I'll see some of the highlights that pop up there. But I won't stay up and watch it. Like it's not like when I was younger and Floyd will be fighting and I religiously would have to watch it because it's Floyd. Do you know what I mean? And it would be an insult to me and Floyd if I didn't stay up to watch that. Did you know what I'm saying?
No, 100.
Or when it was at WrestleMania and you'd have to order the pay-per-view, you'd have to watch it. Do you know what I mean? But
how's Rico saying he would fight AJ for £500 and a happy?
He won't live to have the happy meal. That's the worst thing about it. That happy meal is going to his family.
You know what, Prince? I was just about to ask you, man. What was your favorite Floyd fight, man? Obviously, knowing that you're a big fan of his, man. What was your favorite? Like, what would you say was your best performance?
I liked it when he first became a world champion because I could see how much it meant to him. I think it was against Angel Manfredi. He beat for the world title, and you could see the energy. You could see like it's like he finally done what he set out to do. Like years of academy training in the amateurs to then more training in the pros. You could see how much it meant to him. And then obviously after you win a world title, probably things come more financial to you. Like you want to get more money out of it. But that's a prime example to me of a fighter who laid it all on the line growing up and then hitting the pinnacle. I would say, so that to me, just based on that, meant a lot. But I'd say for entertainment purposes, the Arturo Gatti, you could see he was really going to be a superstar during the Gatti fight. I remember going to school after the Gatti, I was in year 7, and I'm telling my friends who know nothing about boxing, I'm telling them, yes, Floyd done this to Gatti, he landed this right hand on Gatti, he done that to him, and I was like, Gatti's no joke, he's ex-world champion, and they're like going, yeah, it sounds really good, like, and I'm thinking to myself, like, these guys don't appreciate it. They ain't appreciating what I'm saying here. And then yeah, I just think that like some amazing stuff. Wait, what's this person? Do you agree with most?
Rico's obviously got this thing where he's saying that he thinks Dubois gonna chin Usyk in Poland.
Let's forget we can't skip Floyd to go to the bar like ever. We can never do that. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. The disrespect.
What is this guy thinking here? Like, it's like Floyd. I used to watch the Diego Corrales fight and repeat. I used to watch the Emmanuel Augustus fight and repeat. I used to watch the Philip Endu fight and repeat. I would actually say watching the Ricky Hatton fight made me win the schoolboys that year, because the check hook, I never had that in my game. I wasn't throwing the check hook in my game back then. So that pay-per-view I made my mum buy was worth it because it won me a national title. So Floyd won me that national title without even knowing he done that.
Big up to Floyd, man.
Big up to Floyd, man. But I'm just saying, like, if you're looking at someone with the highest IQ in boxing, it's Floyd, man. Like, if you want to learn boxing, go watch Floyd. I'm not talking about the Philly shell and all that stuff. I'm saying look at the simple stuff he does. How he'll throw a jab, how he'll throw his right hand, stuff like that, how he puts his shots together. Forget that, because obviously the Philly shell's the highlight reel stuff. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's making a man miss with like 20 shots in a row. Like, that's all the sexy stuff. But look at the actual, like, how he throws his punches, how he does this. Like, most people think, oh, I want to knock guys out, I'm going to watch Mike Tyson. Yeah? Not everyone can generate that force that Mike Tyson can generate. Do you know what I'm saying? So me watching Mike Tyson, how he throws his left hook, yeah, it's all good, well and done, me doing it with the same technique as him, but I ain't generating that Mike Tyson force. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah. 100%.
So I just think, like, you want to learn, even to novices that come into the gym sometimes, and they're in the amateur section and they talk to me, because I always give time to these people. So like, they'll go to me, who should I watch? I say, go watch Floyd. Go watch Floyd. Watch how he throws the jab. Because there was quite a lot of my career where I actually didn't even have a coach, and I would like just go to a gym, pay my £10 subs, just spar in the gym, but I wouldn't actually have a coach doing pads with me and all that sort of stuff. And I'm not home watching Floyd, man. That's what I'm doing. That's my training.
No, big up to you. No,
but honestly, back to what the guy was saying now about the Bar and Usyk. There's a very slim chance of the Bar beating Usyk, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say impossible chance. The reason why I'm not saying impossible is because Usyk's a southpaw. Yeah. And the fact that Usyk's a southpaw and the Bar's orthodox is, you got the clash of you're open to the person's rear hand. Like, that's why a lot of heavyweights avoid southpaws, which is why I was surprised that Joe Joyce took the fight with Zhang. Because all Zhang had to do really was get his head on the outside, slip, land the left hand, and get the right hook on the side, and you're away. You're away from Joe Joyce. You get to reset. Joe's just walking onto a left hand. And at the heavyweight division, this is what George Foreman said, is you don't really want to be getting caught with punches. Especially, even I don't even want to get caught with punches, but in the heavyweight division, you definitely don't want to be getting caught with punches.
Trust me.
And if you look at Michael Moorer against George Foreman, that was a southpaw against orthodox. Obviously, George Foreman's a bigger puncher than, I would say, Daniel Dubois, but Daniel Dubois does have a puncher's chance, but that puncher's chance for Daniel Dubois, in my opinion, is like 2%. Like 98% is in Usyk's favor, like the level, the IQ. But there is 12 rounds and it is 36 minutes that he's got to try and land the right hand on Usyk. And if he can land it flush, he's got a bit more length than Usyk. If he lands it flush, who knows? Usyk might be flying on the floor. But I just think that Usyk's the better fighter, and I don't think he'll be flying on the floor. I think he'll just be outboxing the Bar for a 12-round snowfest.
Joe Joyce and Zhang, they're running it back in September. The outcome, do you reckon, is going to be repeat or revenge?
It's repeat. Like, I don't think Joe Joyce has the IQ to change anything. What's Joe Joyce good at? He's a big, effective, strong, very fit guy. At no point has anyone got an amazing jab. He puts his shots very well together, because even the way he throws his shots, he just throws 1-2s, a robotic uppercut, left hook. It's all robotic. You can see it. It's not, and you're not going to be able to. I've seen coaches try to change Joe Joyce and get him to be a bit more agile, work on different levels on his jab, move his head a little bit. He can't do that. He's boxed the exact same from when I was at Ellsfield with him, and he's boxed the exact same as when he was at Ellsfield.
Wow.
The exact same.
Wow.
So I don't think anything changes apart from just more left hands land, more brain cells going missing, and probably another stoppage late down the line.
You know, he's not wrong.
You never know. Zhang could cause a problem. He could be the first
Chinese heavyweight.
Do you know what I mean? You just never know. This is why I'm saying they need to make.
Yeah, Zhang is a problem. He is a problem. He is a problem, definitely. But any southpaw heavyweight who knows how to use the southpawness and is big and can punch, you're a problem.
Yeah.
Because you're even if like you got a southpaw against orthodox in my division, you're gonna land punches. You're naturally gonna get caught maybe with a backhand or with the hook as you're coming out or whatever. You're gonna get caught with something, and in the heavyweight division, one punch can change it.
Yeah.
I personally wouldn't want to get caught by Zhang or Joyce, but like these guys have to like fight each other and they got to get caught. So it's a difficult division, man. What do you guys think? Well, you guys are the experts as well here. What do you think?
I think. I personally with Joyce, I think he can win the fight, but he has to make some sort of change. I realized not just Joe Joyce, like heavyweight division. I realized a lot of these people, they tend to stand there and get hit a lot. So what Joyce needs to work on, he needs to work on his defense and he needs to move around. He just stands there. I know he's used to juggling, but he needs to move around.
All right. So Joe Joyce is that 35 years old?
38, I think.
He's 35.
38, 37.
38.
Yeah.
Okay, so a man at 37, 38, yeah. Do you really believe a man at that age is going to be able to change his whole game plans? Like, do something he's never done before?
Yeah, but look at sorry, Skyler, look at
37.
When Ruiz beat AJ, right? And in the rematch, look how AJ had to adjust. He had to make change. He lost weight. He was fighting on the back. He was moving around.
Yeah, but AJ's a better boxer than Joe Joyce.
True.
I've seen AJ boxing for the Olympics and all that sort of stuff. You've seen AJ move around the ring, flick a jab out, move around side to side, 1-2 hook, move again. I have never seen Joe Joyce do that ever.
Maybe that's something he needs to start. I don't know. I mean, you're the boxer, but
have you guys seen it?
Huh?
No, he's right. That's why, for me personally, like I'm going for Big Bang to just do the same thing. Like it's so mad because my boy, even prior to the fight, was telling me, "Yo, you should bet on Big Bang to beat Joyce." I was like, "The juggernaut? Nah, man, he's not." But I was wrong, and we saw it was conclusive as well.
So if Big Bang wins, is that it for Joyce, or is he? I mean, him and the AJ fight, I don't see it happening anymore. Probably die out. Big Bang will probably challenge.
Yeah, I agree with what that guy just said there. Where does Joyce go after that?
Yeah, where does he go?
Where does Joyce go after losing to Zhang again, though?
I reckon rematch with Daniel Dubois. I know it sounds silly, but Frank wants to do it. He wants to do it at O2 Arena. Okay,
so how does that? So he's gonna have to fight someone else before the bar because that won't even be for the bar's WBA heavyweight title because they're gonna remove that then, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
So if he loses to Usyk, there's no more WBA regular heavyweight, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
So basically, he fights the bar for what? Like no belt, an eliminator, like what?
Well, do you know what? I have no clue.
That's what
Frank's saying that he wants them lot to rematch again. So I don't know.
Copper box. That's a copper box job, man.
That's the worst thing about it, yeah. To the boxing world, it's quite a big fight to the boxing world, yeah. But in general, to the general public, and this is the thing that the bar needs to realize as well, yeah, is you're a heavyweight. yeah, you've been handled with a bit of care because he has his best winners against, I don't know, like Nathan Gorman, Ebenezer Tete, Fujimoto. Like, who's his best win? Kevin Loreno, who's a cruiserweight. Like, you knock guys out and you're a heavyweight, but no one really knows who you are. No one talks about him and goes, oh, look what Daniel DeBar's saying, or like there's nothing, there's no character, there's no like you're not gonna buy into that. If that was a movie or like a theater performance, are you gonna buy a ticket to watch Daniel DeBar? You're not. Like, I wouldn't.
Prince's freaking facts.
Imagine there was a WWE character, called Daniel DeBar, but he's called the Lamppost, because there's no personality. So like, you got a character. Vince has created a character called the Lamppost. Yeah. Do you think the fans are gonna like the Lamppost? Obviously not. No one's gonna. You're gonna lose ratings that way. You're gonna lose ticket sales that way.
Oh.
Think about it though. He's a heavyweight that's appeared on This Morning, all these big shows and stuff. Yeah, but no one knows who he is.
Yeah, no, I just think he's just before he was camera shy, and I think now he's gradually getting there. He's talking more now, and
just boring. It's not about being camera shy. It's just no personality. It's like, I'll give you an example. People get camera shy because they don't know what to say in front of a camera.
Yeah.
Like, and I guarantee you, if you had a conversation with Daniel DeBar and you sat down with him, it would be a very awkward conversation. Minus the camera. Take the camera away from it. It's just a socially awkward person.
Oh, man.
Well,
Daniel DeBar's worst bet is mine.
Listen, we need to do a part 2. We will
This guy is definitely drunk. This guy is definitely drunk.
We'll get a part 2 with Rico.
We're gonna do a part 2. We're gonna do a part 2. But put it this way, look. Let's just wait on the build up. I think Daniel DeBar is gonna, because he wants this. This is a big opportunity. This is his biggest payday, 2 million. So he wants this. But boxing on paper, you say is the man. Will beat him. But again, heavyweight boxing, anything's possible if he lands. And
no, of course. Look. If DeBar somehow beats Usyk, he's getting paid 10 million to fight Fury, if not more.
Yep.
Yeah.
How you not gonna want that? Your whole life's changed for the better.
Yeah.
It's done.
Yeah.
It's basically done, man. It's done, man. Boy.
Right, lads. It's been a pleasure. We're gonna do this again. Yeah.
Definitely.
We're here every Sunday, 7:30s, Wednesday, 7:30s. iBoxing Hub. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. I go by the name of BNG, featuring yours truly, Trey, and man like Prince Patel. We're out.
Big up, man.
Peace, guys. Peace.